Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Schmid. Alderman Moore.
Here.
Alderman Cone.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard. Alderman Villa.
Here.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Ingrassia.
Present.
Chairman Ortmann.
Present.
5 present, you have a quorum.
The first board on the agenda today is Board Bill 190, Alderwoman Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Board Bill 190 deals with 2021 Rutger, which is located in the Lafayette Square neighborhood. It is being developed by a man named Jared Holst, who is a developer himself, and this, however, is going to be his own home. He is renovating this building as a single family, and he's paid $102,000 for it, to purchase it, and he's projecting cost for construction of $282,000. So we're providing 5 years of tax abatement as an incentive for this project.
Yeah, this is Joe. Okay, questions from the committee? Alderman Moore?
No.
Alderman Cohen?
Sorry, I'm a little lax in sending photos down to Alderman Villa. I have no questions, thank you.
Alderman Villa?
Summing everything up. No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Ingrassia?
No questions.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board
moved.
Bill 190.
Second.
Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Schmid. Alderman Moore.
Aye.
Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard. Alderman Villa.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard. Alderwoman Ingrassia.
Aye.
Chairman Ortmann.
Aye.
5 aye votes do pass.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Board Bill 157, Alderman Bosley, who I saw a minute ago. There he is.
Right. Well,
Alderman, you're on.
157,
Do we have pictures before you start?
I think pictures should be in that bill. Have you got it? If not, you can have mine. Or I got a lot of pictures. I thought they would furnish. I thought they'd have furnished pictures to everybody.
No, we can't afford to do that.
We got to stay out of that place out there in the county, and we will have money.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Okay, Board Bill 157, it's about several properties that are in my ward. Duffy Neuenberger, ND Construction, has done a tremendous job over there, and if you ever drive off of Highway 70 over Salisbury, you'll see all that development going on over there. In fact, I think we have more building permits issued in the 3rd Ward than almost any other ward in the entire city of St. Louis, and this is just part of what's going on there. In the area bounded where North Florissant and Natural Bridge come together up to Salisbury, 98% of those houses in there were vacant, vandalized, and in a mess. And Duffy Neuenberger has come in there and has restored almost all of that. And this is just a part of what it is to finish that whole triangle over into there, in that area. And they've always been able to get from the state historic tax credits, and this is an historic district, and it's certainly important that we're able to get enough Duffy Neuenberger finishing up that little area in there, because in the next few years it's going to bring such a tremendous amount of tax money back to the city of St. Louis, because in that area over there, those are some of the oldest houses in the entire city of St. Louis, and what they have done in that area is just phenomenal compared to what it used to be. So to get the tax credits, to get Board Bill 157 through so they can go on and do the rest of this is just fantastic, and it's going to be a tremendous advantage to the city of St. Louis.
Questions from the committee? Alderman Moore?
Mr. Bosley, would you be able to help me out in my task that I'm doing?
Would you be able to help me out with my development as well?
Well, if you're after this meeting, I might have 5 minutes, but on Friday, during the board, you can talk to me all day long.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And all you have to do is turn around on the floor. Alderman Cohen.
I'm just curious, so what is the total development cost of
The total development?
Yeah,
Oh, so far, they spent over $300 million over in that area. And this development here, I don't know exactly what it's gonna cost, but for the number of buildings that they have there, and one thing let me say about Duffy Neuenberger, they started out with 1 or 2. Now they do 2 or 3 blocks over there because all the money that has come back into the area from the historic and state tax credits has allowed them to reinvest that money into there. So I would think they would be putting someplace in the neighborhood well over 100 million back into here.
I've been up there a number of times, and they have done a really remarkable job
Yeah.
redeveloping that area.
It would be nice if this committee one day would have time to take a ride through that area over there to see what it is that they have done. Because that area used to look so bad and so dilapidated that when people got off at Highway 70 at Salisbury, because see, Salisbury is the only street in the entire city of St. Louis that'll take you from one end of the city to the other. And that is like the north-south distributor. And people used to come through there, by God, they'd be speeding because it looked like they were going to get hijacked at every corner. But now they slow down and look, and it has really turned out to be one beautiful neighborhood now, and it's only getting better. And with your help, it's going to get better than it is now.
Alderman Villa.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
Is this market rate or affordable housing?
Affordable housing, yes.
All right.
Hearing no other questions, I will entertain a motion on Board Bill 157.
I move that we pass out Board Bill 157 with a due pass recommendation.
Previous roll.
Do we have a request for
Sorry.
previous roll?
We need a
I didn't get a
second.
second.
I thought,
You
I
made the
move.
I'll
motion.
second.
Okay,
Previous roll.
Yeah, them two did both.
all right.
Hearing no objection, the previous roll, Board Bill 157 is out with a due pass. Thank you, Alderman.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Board Bill 181, Conway. Alderman Conway. Alderman Conway's got 3 bills. We're going to do 181, 182, and 199.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Here's the other one.
I'm sorry, 181, here are the pictures. Do they have the pictures over there? Okay, this is a 4-family building that is in the worst quadrant of the Shaw neighborhood, and we are seeking a 10-year tax abatement on it.
Alderman Moore.
No questions.
Alderman Cohen.
No questions.
Alderman Villa.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
You mentioned 10 years of abatement. My copy says 5.
Okay, then we've gone down to 5. We were hovering back and forth, but this is still, I mean, Zach, this is still the bad quadrant north of Flora and west of Lawrence, but if the developer knew it was 5, okay, that's fine.
They're
Out
learning.
of Flora, we do 5.
They're learning.
Who is
They're
the
learning.
developer on this?
It's printed on the top of that page I handed.
He gave me the page. I only had one of them now. So.
It's a peculiar, I remember talking to the individual.
Okay, hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 181.
I move that we pass out Board Bill 181 with a due pass recommendation.
Second. Previous.
Hearing no objection to previous rule, Board Bill 181 is out with a due pass. Board Bill 182. Pictures.
Okay. These are 2 4-families, I believe, on Arsenal kind of across the street, what I would still call Southwest High School. But along that stretch of Arsenal, and may actually be a little bit further west, the developer is Gerald Holst. He's done a very, very good job in the past with renovation to rentals, and people are pretty happy with his work. And I know he's done a number of quality projects in the Shaw neighborhood. This is in the Southwest Garden neighborhood.
Alderman Moore.
No question.
Alderman Cohen.
I'm just curious, because I ride my bike past here quite often, and I've noticed this yellow brick building with the, kind of fascia boards up on, is he planning on removing that stuff, or?
He would, because he does, I look at the construction costs there, he does good work.
Yeah.
And, what they've done, I think in the past, is that old board with the molding rotted out, and they put that flat, the
Right.
flat surface stuff there.
Yeah, it looks really bad in juxtaposition to the other properties that are on that block. Sorry, I'm being pretty bad about, or being stingy with the photos.
It matches some properties, too.
Yeah, it does.
Are you done?
I am done, thank you.
Alderman Villa.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No questions.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 182.
I move that we pass out Board Bill 182 with a due pass recommendation.
Second. Previous rule.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 182 is out with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 199.
This is a little more complicated one. This is 3838 Flora Place. It's been vacant for a number of years. We've got some pictures. Most of the neighborhood showed up at the LCRA Commission meeting to testify about the condition of this property, the birds and the animals that live there. But when you see the pictures, it'll be hard for you to imagine that the color pictures, the small ones, are better pictures, or at least more reflective of what we see. So this would be a blighting bill with eminent domain. The owner's mother is here, and she is in agreement with it. She was the farmer owner with this bill today, and they'll have till May to finish up either selling or renovating it. And she's agreed that she'll make sure that she get it done before the end of May. But we needed to get this in place because heretofore her son, who had bought it from her, had just not the capability of doing anything with this particular piece of property.
Alderman Moore.
No questions.
Alderman Cohen.
So we are exercising eminent domain on the property then?
Right, we don't plan to finish through because I had told her that she has until the end of May to resolve things. She's come back into town. She is here with us today, just to make sure she knew what was happening, and because she wasn't getting the full story, and she'd been out of the loop because she'd moved. She formerly lived here in St. Louis, and I believe that she actually lived in that building at one time, and so she knows what the condition is, and she's very satisfied to the end of April, to the end of May, that they get their things resolved. And it'll give them the capability of getting a better price, that it's already been blighted and ready to go forward. And she's got a couple of letters from developers in her hand, and she's going to seek a developer herself.
I'm just a little confused though. She does not own the building?
No, she sold it to her son.
Okay.
And her son just has not had the physical or capability, and his life was not all together. We'd had a number, all those building code violations were from 2011, 2.5 pages. And I think just this process of moving forward has, we've reached a point that we haven't reached, and that is that Michelle is here with us today, and she now knows what's going on, and she agrees with it.
So is she trying to purchase the property from her son then?
No, she's going to help him find somebody.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Alderman Villa.
Alderman, for instance, if the new developer has to replace the roof, do you have covenants on Flora in terms of like what material can be used on a roof like this?
Well, that is a Spanish clay tile, and we're in a historic neighborhood, the Shaw neighborhood, and that would be all that they could put back on. So I know that my roof, an insurance claim, was $46,000 just to take the roof off and put it back on 2 years ago. But those run at about $100,000 if you had to replace the whole roof, $120,000. But I'm willing to believe that they could save a number of those tiles and keep it down to $60,000 or $70,000.
Is this the Martins block where Jimmy Martin used to live?
No, he was in the 3900 block. This is across the street, almost from Pat Conigan.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No questions.
At the LCRA Commission Board, what was the testimony of, if they did testify, of your constituents? I mean, what is their feeling?
They were 100% for this bill.
They're supporting this.
Oh, yeah, they're the ones that beat the living daylights out of me to get this far, just because of, with all of the openings into the roof, all of the animals are living there. Mrs. Margie Larson, who lives to the west of there, you know, the bricks are falling out of the chimney up against her house. And so everybody expressed some significant concern at the LCRA Commission.
Yeah, this is the kind of property that my own personal opinion, that I think eminent domain should be used on when something isn't moving, so you've always got that leverage to try to get it done because they don't get better. So hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 199.
So moved.
Second.
Do I have a request for previous roll?
Previous roll.
Hearing no objections, Board Bill 199 is out with a due pass.
Thank you so much.
Recommendation.
Where did they go?
Pictures are all over. Next on the agenda is Board Bill 180, Alderwoman Cruzen.
Good afternoon. Pictures? Thank you all. Board Bill 180 is for the renovation of a building commonly known as the Hayes Building. You'll see the pictures coming around here pretty soon. It was called the Hayes Building because the Hayes Insurance Company was there for decades. The building has been empty for over 10 years. A lot of different developers have been sought for the building. Finally, and much to our happiness, Powers Insurance is going to do a major renovation on the property. They paid $675,000 for the property. They're going to put about $1.1 million to $1.3 million into the property. They're going to move their business from Clayton and their own 18 employees from Clayton to the city of St. Louis. And they actually will likely even have a little space that they can lease out to some other professional service firm as well. So we're very likely to have 25 new jobs in the city of St. Louis. The building is located, if you've been to the High Point Theater, which I bet you have, yeah, High Point Theater, and you look east, it's a building that's in the triangle there between Oakland and Clayton Avenue. Oakland and Clayton Avenue come together there in a triangle, and it's the building that's right there in that triangle. I think this is, over the last few years, we've had several different proposals for folks to go in there. None of them have really been nearly as good for the neighborhood as what this office use is going to be. So I'm here in support of 10-year tax abatement for this property, which has been vacant for 10 years.
Alderman Moore.
No question.
Alderman Cohen.
No questions.
Alderman Villa.
Alderman, because of its proximity to Forest Park, does that throw any curveballs at the redeveloper?
It does not, no. There used to be something like that, but that's no longer. This building, sort of as an aside, was actually built in the 1920s. You would not know that from looking at the pictures. It had what I would call a remodel in, the 50s or the 60s, but they have a plan to really spiff up the exterior and do a gut rehab on the interior.
Is remodel your word?
It is.
Oh, I'm not, it's not very colloquial, and I'm an old man. I had never heard remodel
Hadn't heard that?
before.
Mm.
And
It's
I
an
think this-
architectural term.
Well, that leaves me out. The story would be more interesting if Gabby Hayes were born there. You said it's the Hayes Building. You just thought,
Yeah.
next time, use
Okay,
that.
I'll try that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Alderwoman Ingrassia,
No questions.
did you have a question?
I actually do
A
have a
late
question of the alderman of the 11th ward. Who is Gabby Hayes?
Who is Gabby Hayes? I have no idea.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 180.
I move that we pass out Board Bill 180 with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
Do we have a request for previous roll? Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 180 is out with a due pass.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda is Board Bill 184, Alderman Valmer. No one said anything to me.
Gabby Hayes? Oh, didn't you ever watch Roy Rogers? Board Bill 184 is for 1918 Edwards Street on the Hill neighborhood. Here's, which is a vacant lot and has been vacant for some time. It is a very small lot. If you're familiar with the Hill, we have some nice 25-foot wide lots with lots of shotgun homes that were built way back when. This one was torn down some time ago, and it sits on an alley. It's a rather curious location, but we were able to find a developer who was willing to take it on. Actually, you took my notes there, too. Sorry, can I have the front page? But Pagano Land Development Company has purchased this lot. They're going to build a rather unique home. When you see the sketch of what's going to be there, a 3-bedroom home on this very narrow lot with a 2-car garage, trying to change the look of the neighborhood, yet keep the feel of the Hill neighborhood. So it's, we're talking about, most, people look at these lots, and that's why some of the people actually leave the neighborhood, because the lots are so small. When I was there, I had 9 people in a 3-bedroom house, and slept on the, I didn't know how to make my bed was how I folded up the couch in the morning. That's how we all grew up over there. And now people are looking for these much larger lots, but to have the interest in the way, there's a few new things that the architects are doing. This is one of them. It takes and makes the most of the lot. But we're looking at a 2,000 square foot home, 3 bedrooms, and $220,000 in construction costs, $50,000 to purchase the lot, and we're requesting a 10-year tax abatement.
Okay, before we go into questions, we have two speakers, a pro and a con. So we'll do the pro first. SJ,
Was one of you against there? I thought you were related.
do you want to speak?
Okay, sure.
Now, we might end up asking you real difficult questions. So, like, do you have a business card? I'm teasing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we've had the property for a while. We've had some people interested in putting a home on the property. We've had some contracts fall through. The person that we're actually building the home for is my brother, who's here today. This will be his first home.
Be the one that's opposed to it?
You both guys are both for the.
We're both for it,
Somebody signed
yes.
up on the con line by mistake, so they're both for the.
Really? I'm the only, I thought I was the only one that signed up.
No, there's two.
Oh,
No.
is there anybody else here? Anyway, I don't think we've had any issues with the project going up. We're actually doing a much larger project right next to it. That'll be our new office building with a single-family home on top. So we're trying to get both of these projects off the ground at the same time.
You said Connick, said they're brothers.
Well, there was another gentleman here, so, and he probably maybe signed the wrong space or signed there, but he's not here anymore, so. Alderman, you want to come up to the mic also? Okay. Alderman Moore, questions?
No question.
Alderman Cohen?
I understand that Gabby Hayes was born in 1889, and unfortunately, I don't have any friends that were born at that time period, so, but I think that this sounds like a really wonderful project, and I commend you guys on the work that you're doing in the city. It's really great to see folks such as yourself making an investment in the future, so thank you.
Alderman Cohen, that was the year I was born.
I thought it was the year Alderman Villa was born, but.
Alderman Villa? Happy birthday.
Still have the manger, too, Mr. Chairman, where I was born. From the looks of the pictures, this is, Joe, excuse me, Alderman, this is in the shadows of Volpe Salami.
It is, it actually is. It's about half a block north of Volpe Salami on Edwards. Across the alley was the house, the birthplace of Butzi Damati, my brother's godfather, which is more important to me than Volpe Salami, but yes.
What's his name?
Butzi, he just passed away last year. Robert Butzi Damati.
What nationality was he? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No more questions.
Okay.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No questions.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 184.
Second?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that I would request the use of the previous rule.
Hearing no objection to previous rule, Board Bill 184 is out with a due pass.
There's a letter for you.
Next on the agenda is Board Bill 159. Alderwoman Davis.
Well, no, but this is my support letter that goes with it.
Oh,
That's
it's
for your
not here.
records. No, they already have it. That's your copy for your records, guys. Okay? See you guys.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. I don't have, Alderwoman Davis, hold on a second. I don't have his other bill for some
156?
reason. No, them are all.
Maybe it got mixed up.
Here's the one that's two.
That's when you scared me, when there was one pro and one con. There were two brothers, which on the Hill wouldn't be unheard of.
All right, now Board Bill 156. How's that?
Board Bill 156 is 2615 January Avenue, which is technically the Southwest Garden Neighborhood Association. Here are some pictures. There is existing two-family residence which has been vacant for some time and an eyesore for quite some time. Through a family inheritance, Mr. Chris Cockatera is taking the property over, wishing to tear it down to build a new single-family residence. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,100 square foot with a new 2-car garage. We're requesting 10-year tax abatement. So we're getting rid of an eyesore that has been there for some time and putting up a nice new home in the Southwest Garden neighborhood.
Alderman Moore.
No question.
Alderman Cohen.
No questions. That's quite a project.
Alderman Villa.
No questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No questions.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 156.
So moved.
Second?
Previous roll.
Hearing no objection to previous rule, Board Bill 156 is out with a due pass.
I thank you for your time and your efficiency.
Next on the agenda, Board Bill 159, Alderwoman Davis. And I apologize. Somehow I had a missing bill.
That's okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, Board Bill 159 is a Habitat for Humanity build. We will have 2 properties on Folsom and 3 properties on McCree. So these are some lots that have been vacant for a while. As you know, Tiffany neighborhood is a very solid residential community, has not had any new build in a number of years. So the neighborhood organization is very excited about this proposal and this prospect for new build there. They've approved the design, which will match the homes there, the 2-story homes there in Tiffany. We have acquired some home funding, some affordable housing funding, and of course, you know, Habitat is primarily supported by private donations and grants. The amenities for the homes, there will be 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,200 square feet, 2 on-site parking spaces, and of course, they do build green now. So they're very energy efficient, which is very exciting for the proposed new homeowners. Those homes will also be attached to 10-year tax abatement. So I ask for your approval.
Alderman Moore.
No question.
Thank you.
Alderman Cohen.
I didn't get any photos. I don't know if.
Here, I have one here. I'll pass it around. I'm gonna pass both of them so they can go in
I'm
two
letting the ball
directions.
down. I didn't
I'm
ask for
sorry.
photos.
I'm just being stingy with photos today.
And they're black and white. Oh, my God.
I know.
So these are rehabs or?
No, brand new
They'll
build.
be brand new?
Yes.
Okay.
See him all day.
Well, the vacant lot is color.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's already all vacant land?
All vacant
There's no
land.
demolition that needs to be
No,
done
sir.
or anything like that? Hmm?
Now, they've been vacant, those lots have been vacant for a while, too. So it's good to see those homes go up there.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Alderman Villa.
Alderwoman, I'd have bet this was the 17th ward. Did it used to be?
It used to be, yes. Now.
I'm living in the past, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Don't let him fool you. He's in the past, present, and future.
Oh, you know I know.
Alderwoman Ingrassia.
No questions.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 159.
Second?
Do we have a request for previous roll? Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 159 is out with a due pass.
Thank you very much.
You want to chair it or you want to do your bill? It's your decision. You can learn. Then you're going to do me as I do my bills. Do you have you want to bring the others over so I can take mine up?
Yep.
Difficult, Christine.
You're on.
We have before us Board Bill 154.
Okay, 154 is 2925 Lemp. This is a property in Benton Park that's a block and a half from Arsenal, north of Arsenal, and it went into a foreclosure, and developers picked it up, and it's renovations unlimited. Was a single family, it's staying a single family. The acquisition cost was $42,000, renovation cost is $144,000, and the asking price is going to be $195,000. And we're giving a 5-year tax abatement.
Alderman Moore, do you have any questions? Alderman Cohn?
No questions.
Alderman Villa?
Any pictures?
I should have left them all there.
Guess this guy's new, huh, Madam Chair?
I'm Tim and Tom.
No question, Madam Chairman, thank you.
Do I have a motion on Board Bill 154?
I move that we pass out Board Bill 154 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous.
Objection. Roll call.
Seriously?
I withdraw my motion.
Board Bill 154 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation. Now we are hearing Board Bill 155.
Board Bill 155 is a property in the Marine Villa neighborhood. This is one block south of Cherokee. And it's being renovated by the developers, Charles Brown. The acquisition cost is $65,000, $354,000. Renovation cost is $108,645, and the asking price is going to be $175,000. And it's being converted to a single-family, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and a 2-car parking pad in the back, and it's a 5-year tax abatement.
Alderman Moore, do you have any questions?
No question.
Alderman Cohn?
No questions.
Alderman Villa?
No questions, Madam Chairman, thank you.
Do you have a motion on Board Bill 155?
I move that we pass out Board Bill 155 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous.
Hearing no objection for previous roll, Board Bill 155 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation. We're on Board Bill 185.
Board Bill 185 is back to Benton Park. It's the 2100 block of Wyoming. The address is 2106 Wyoming. The acquisition cost was $52,000. Renovation cost is $168,000. The asking price is going to be $220,000. It's being converted, or it's a single-family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's going to have a carport in the back, and it's a 5-year tax abatement.
Alderman Moore, do you have any questions?
No.
Alderman Cohn?
No questions.
Alderman Villa?
They're coming.
No questions.
I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 185.
I move that we pass out Board Bill 185 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 185 comes out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you, and thank you. And next on the agenda is Alderwoman Ingrassia, Board Bill 153.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. These properties encompass the entire first half of the block on Magnolia and Halliday at Compton, have been on and off the nuisance and problem properties list for quite a long time, and we're actually almost about to be shut down until this developer stepped in. So it's about $700,000 in acquisition costs, $800,000 of renovation costs, and the apartments will be for lease at market rate at about $695 a month.
Alderman Moore.
No question.
Alderman Cohen.
I ride my bike past here on Compton all the time. How many units are in there, do you know?
I believe it's about 26, between 26 and 30.
And it's an $800,000 rehab cost?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Villa.
Mr. Chairman, one of these days, we need to find out where Alderman Cohen doesn't ride his bike. He rides by all these properties.
Lay down Broadway.
In front of my house.
That's a really difficult interchange right there at 55 and Arsenal.
So Christine, the developer, Alderwoman, the developer's going to have $1.5 million in it between acquisition and renovation. And when all the dust settles, he'll have 26 rental units at $700 a month?
I think 695 and 825 is the highest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 153.
I move that we pass 153 out with the due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous.
Hearing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 153 is out with a due pass, and I think that is the end of the agenda.
It is.